Whoop-de-fucking-do. Welcome back, you fucking bitches. Hey, we just got unfamily friendly. We're actually recording a podcast. Here's some intro music.
It's been 24.
I just fucked up the intro music. Whatever, we're rolling with it.
Play it again. Keep playing it.
I did it. It was fine. I kind of messed that up quite a lot, but okay, we're rolling now anyway.
Can this podcast just be like 50 minutes of just the intro music?
50-minute intro music loop. Maybe not.
Yeah, and then we keep going, fuck, we did it wrong, so we do it again. Then it's just 50 minutes of that.
Thing is, what I keep trying to do is mute you saying a lot of bullshit during the intro music, because you can't actually hear it when I play it. So you talk, you say a bunch of crap. So I try to mute you, but then I'm like, oh shit, no, because I'm just muting my entire desktop and no one can actually hear the intro music. So.
100% of our audience comes here to listen to me, so like, I don't know why you're trying to mute me.
Well, they certainly don't come here to look at you because you're fucking ugly, so...
No, that's fine.
No, that's not... That wasn't where I...
That's why we do that. That's why we do the podcast.
That wasn't where I was originally going with that. I was originally going to say, well, they don't come here to look at you because you've never got your camera in a decent, like, angle. But I thought I'd go...
Angle? I don't care.
No, it's like your chin is, like, off-screen when you...
My chin's off-screen?
Well, now it's not. No, you adjusted it to be good, and now you've made it shake it! God damn it!
I don't know. That'll have to do, I don't care.
Do you know what's hilarious? There was that one stream where we got bullied about his camera quality, and I actually like went out and bought a good webcam. And actually like figured out how to make it look good and everything like that. And you just still like randomly shoot it off into your corner or whatever, and no one can see where you are.
I ain't got out to fucking prove. I got something to tell you as well.
Okay.
Because I just realised I've not told you.
Me.
Did
you quit your job?
I called
it already. Great. Well, that's brilliant, because I've got some other news, but we'll get onto that a little bit later. It's actually really good stream news. Like, it's like good for the stream.
That's good.
But before that, we briefly talked about it before we jumped on and started recording this. We just completely forgot about that we do anything. We forgot about streaming, podcasts, and everything just for a full weekend.
Either. We weren't like breathing or anything. We were just sort of like in this sort of weird stasis. And then like, you know, like when the Doctor regenerates on Doctor Who when he like goes, like when he wakes up.
This is us now.
That's what it's like, fucking hell, we need to be like living and walking around and doing stuff.
Well, what we actually mean by that is we just completely forgot to stream or record a podcast or anything. Main thing for me was that I had a gig on the Thursday night before the weekend that we were supposed to be streaming, and a bunch of stuff that I had to deal with like after that, like promotion and like thanking people for stuff. But then, literally the day after we would record a podcast, I would have been going on holiday. Like, I've just come back from holiday last night, so I think that's what's kind of distracted me, and I just completely forgot. And from what you've just said, you remembered, you just didn't give a shit.
Well, I was busy with work for a bit whilst, you know, I was still there, and then obviously like I've quit not too long ago. And I was like, well, I'm not really doing anything. Mainly, actually, what I was doing is I was just going to my nerd shop and playing like games of Warhammer. That's like what I was doing. Right. But I was just like, oh, I could get into contact with Jake and just say, hey, do you want to like stream some stuff or like do some podcasts or something just to get some out there? Because, you know, eventually I will go back to work like somewhere, and then I don't know what the hours are going to be like there. So it would actually be a good idea. It'll probably be better though.
It will probably be better.
Yeah, it probably will be better at times, but we still don't know, so it would actually be a good idea to like stockpile a load of podcasts, you know, just to have them ready for when that happens. But
that's kind of related to some of the news that I've got.
I just didn't. So
you just shit you.
Yeah.
How was quitting your job like? Tell me the whole story.
No, that's a story. Yeah, as well. I should do that first. So basically, people will probably know, but we had like this month has been hot as fuck, and not this month. Sorry, last month.
Like
It was.
not like
Yeah.
last week, the week that like because we're recording this on a Saturday, so like obviously most of the days in this week haven't been hot, but the week before that was really hot. As in the
Yeah.
hottest day that we've ever had in our country. What was worse for me is that was the Thursday I was doing that gig. So
Yeah.
I was on stage. Our dad went. Our dad and his girlfriend went. He'll probably be able to tell you.
Oh
It
yeah,
was,
he told me that he went. He said that you were really good.
yeah, we are really good. Check out Behind the Screen Band on Behind the Screen Band on Facebook and Instagram. This gig was in like a smallish venue. It wasn't like the tiniest ever, but it certainly
Where was
wasn't
it?
like big.
Was it in Barnsley?
Yeah, it was in Barnsley. It was the old schoolhouse in Barnsley.
Old schoolhouse or schoolhouse? Did you say? Sorry.
Schoolhouse. It used to be known as the Polish Club, and a lot of people still know it as that. But regardless,
don't know that one, I don't think.
this room, fairly small, like dark walls, black walls and floor, and the ceiling has like bed sheets, kind of not bed sheets, but like sheets draped across it to help with like sound. All the doors had to be shut in the room because obviously sound can't leak out onto the street and like families here when it's kind of getting later. So all the doors were shut, black walls, sheets, insulated ceiling, hottest day of the year, stage lights.
Oh no, I totally forgot. Yeah, I'm thinking this sounds like some sort of rape dungeon, but of course it was. Yeah.
It was like it was called cabaret style, so it was seated, but the reason why they do it like that is so everyone shuts up and listens to the music. Essentially, there's no like talking when people are playing, which is really good for smaller bands.
That is nice, yeah.
But the thing is, to get this cabaret setting, they even put candles lit on the table. So like everything,
no.
Honestly, this room was. If you go over to this is not necessarily a plug, but if you go to my Instagram, it's _loser.kid_ I think it is something lame like that.
Some stupid shit. Yeah.
Some dumb crap. You can see a picture of just how sweaty my forehead was.
Nice.
And it was honestly
fucking sweaty forehead.
And I also on that day, because I was so busy and trying to prepare for this gig, I'd forgotten to eat like I had a very small lunch, but I'd forgotten to eat my like evening meal.
Yeah.
And when I got there, at one point, I'd not even gone on stage. I'd like stood up and I went, "Whoa, I'm very dizzy right now," because it was so warm and I'd not really eaten anything. So between like there was 2 acts on before us, and between those 2, I had to run down to this foreign food shop. I think it was like Russian food or something, like a grocery store.
Oh, you mean Savka, yeah.
And get some food, so I just quickly grabbed some of that. But you know how like when it's really hot in our country, it's something like one of the main things people say is, "Oh, it's like being abroad," or "It's like being on holiday." They always say that, don't they? All the like mums and the nanans say that.
Yeah,
and,
they do.
Thing is, although that were like a typical thing to say, when I went into a foreign food shop and then came out to this blistering sun and heat, it really felt like being abroad. Yeah. It really felt like it. But yeah, sorry, that was kind of like just showing you how hot it was and getting a little story out of the way, I suppose.
It was boiling, yeah, it was awful.
So how was posting? Well, not posting,
knocking.
But,
knocking on doors, weren't I? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, like I said, just blistering heat, like So, what happened? It were. I don't think it was the day when it was the hottest day of the year. I think it was the day when it was like the second hottest of the year.
Yeah.
So essentially we got to site, and this guy who was his team leader for the day, we're there. By the way, we're there.
I think you kind of need to explain like how the job sort of works, like because I know you've sort of said what you do, but just for people who haven't heard or anything like that, give us like an overview of the general gist of what you do every day, because it's not like it don't vary. Like it's the exact same thing, and it's not that complicated, is it?
So what I do, or what I did, is that basically I'd walk from door to door and I'd knock on doors and I'd basically pitch people, signing up to a charity. So basically I'd try and get people to sign up to a charity, and I did like the job, and I actually really enjoyed it because it was a good cause, but. Anyway, I'll get onto it anyway. So yeah. Basically, what happened was.
But you missed out the part to do with the team leaders. So what a
Oh,
team
the
leader
team. Oh,
is
yeah,
is
yeah.
they have. If it works the same way as when we posted leaflets, which I'm guessing it does, you have like your regular door people who go door to door, but then the team leader is normally the one who's driving and takes you to areas and makes sure everyone like sort of goes round and does the job properly a bit. They'll check up on them every so often, and they'll also like be there if you need to go to the toilet, they're supposed to come and pick you up and take you somewhere. And if you like need anything, like when we were posting leaflets, one of the things they would do is you'd say, "Oh, I've run out of leaflets," and they'd come and give you some more leaflets, things like that. So that's what they do.
It's kind of like that, but basically all they do at this place is take you to where you need to go. Not even in cars, just like show you sort of where you need to go. And then knocks on doors with you, and every hour he'd check your knock sheet to see how well you're doing, and that's it basically. And then he'd take your tablets home at the end of the day. So
What? He'd take your tablets home?
Oh yeah, because we'd have tablets basically. When we're signing
shit! I see what kind of team leader this is. Am I right?
Basically, it gives us meth, and like we do meth. No,
Judd, I don't know if meth comes in tablets actually. So yeah, you might just be wrong there.
You get amphetamines, so don't you? Like
I don't know. I have no idea.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure that meth doesn't come in tablets. I just wanted to say meth because I like meth. But
okay, well, for legal reasons, that's the joke. Okay.
Yeah, sure, whatever. But
we at this podcast we do not endorse meth, just in general.
We don't do it.
What we do endorse, however, is Bad Dragon. If they'll sponsor us, please sponsor us. Please tweet at _Bad Dragon, or something like that. I don't know. Tweet at Bad Dragon, getting them to sponsor us because that'd be great.
Shit that's not really going to happen, you know.
Yeah.
But that's what they did, and we ended up getting to site where we're needing to knock, and this guy's like, it's 3:00 and we're supposed to start. We only get paid from 3:30 until 9.
Right.
So we get there for 3:00,
and that's in the afternoon, not like in the morning or anything.
Yeah, three in the afternoon. Yeah. Well, people are not going to answer the fucking door at 3 in the morning, are they? Or they will, and they'll be really angry.
Yeah.
Or there'll be some sort of weird old hermit man and he'll be like, "Yes, come into my home."
I might do that. That might be
fun. So anyway, yeah, this team leader, we basically get to site at 3:00, and he's like, "All right, guys, so let's try and hit it hard today. You know, let's go at it. Let's try and get as many sign-ups as possible. I'm sure you're all capable of getting one. So yeah, let's start." And I went, "It's 3:00," and he goes, "Yeah," and I go, "So we're starting early?" And he's like, "Yeah, we're starting early." I'm like, "Are we getting paid for the extra half an hour?" And he went, "No." And I went, "Well, then I'm not starting early."
Yeah, and the thing is, that sounds like a bit of like an insolent, "Oh, well, I don't want to." But the thing is, when you're going to be like, the amount of walking you do, that extra half hour, it makes a huge difference, doesn't it? Like, if you think, if you think a half an hour walk is like 2 miles, it's a long way to be walking. And on top of the fucking however long you're already doing.
I won't say it's 2 miles just because you know how much talking we do with people and stuff like that.
Oh, yes, but yeah. But if you walked just for an hour, for half an hour straight, it'd be like 2 miles, I guess.
Oh, yeah. But anyway, so yeah, obviously it's blistering heat. We're going up Sheffield Hills, which I don't know if people know Sheffield, but it has big hills basically everywhere. It's one giant hill made up of other hills.
It's very near the Peak District, literally known for its peaks, for like mountains and things. So
but I was just like, no, I'm not gonna fucking do that. And obviously he didn't. He wasn't happy with that.
What were the rest of your team like about it? Were they just happy to do it, or were they sort of like, yeah, I don't really want to do that either, or what?
Well, basically, one guy was like, one guy who is actually a really cool dude, was just like, I'm just gonna go anyway. You guys can do your own thing. I'm just gonna go because he's really good at getting sign up, so he just wanted to be on it. So I'm like, yeah, you do it if you want, dude, but I'm not. And then this other guy was like, "Oh yeah, he's right. If we're not getting paid for it, why the hell would I do it?"
Yeah, it's fair enough, isn't it?
Yeah, but so this team leader basically got Monk on with me. He was like, "Well, fine then, if you're not gonna if you're not going to work, you know, if you're not going to do it. And then so he went off, and I literally just stood there for half an hour, waited until it was 3:30, and then started working.
Yeah.
But like, you know, I worked the times I was supposed to, and nobody got on at me, like, you know, when we got back to the offices or anything, because that's what I was paid to do.
It's a weird situation, isn't it? Because technically, you well within your rights to do that. There's no problem. But if someone like of power asks you to do it and you're just like, no, you kind of piss them off a bit, and that's kind of not good in a way, which is frustrating because it shouldn't piss them off.
Well, the thing is, if they then turn around and say something like, well, you're fired because you didn't start early, I can take them to court for that. Like, it's in my contract that I work these hours. You're not forcing me to work half an hour early for no pay.
People get away with it all the time, though, because the way they would do it and legally be able to fire you is say that they're replacing you with someone else that they think is better for the job, which you're legally allowed to do. You're allowed to replace someone with someone else who comes along. So, and that's kind of what they would be doing anyway, because they do need people to do it, and there's plenty of people who want jobs, so... That's the problem. It's so hard to get jobs nowadays that it just gives employers way too much power.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the situation. But you have to stand up for yourself like you did, because otherwise you're never going to get anywhere, are you?
No, I know. Yeah, and I am happy that I stood up for myself. But also then, it was that day when. I don't think it was that day. You know how I stayed over at your house, didn't I? Because we're recording some stuff. We were doing like the music video and stuff.
And it looks good, by the way. I can show you some clips of it.
Yeah, it looks really cool. Did we also do some podcasty stuff and like some streaming?
we recorded a bit of games and we did a podcast as well.
Right, okay.
and like they'd not told you when to come in for work, do they? Because from what you were saying to me, they text you in the morning saying when they need you to be in the office.
Yeah.
So. You take over.
Anyway, so what happened was they were fucking me about for when I should have got there, and then they tried blaming it on me. It's like because what exactly what happened was I was waiting about yours until like 2:00, weren't I?
Yeah.
And I had not been told when to come into work. Now, I didn't know if that meant I'd been fired or there were no work today or anything like that. I didn't know. And I'd even called the guy who's supposed to sort it out 2 or 3 times to, like, let me know. And I also called the officers. They didn't pick up. So I basically did all this. And then it gets to, like, 2:00 and I get called by the guy who's supposed to sort it out. And he goes, when are you going to be in? And I'm like, well, I don't know because you're not told me when to be in. And he goes, well, he said to me, well, you've been here for a month now. You should know that you're supposed to be in here at like 1:30. And I'm like, no. You've not told me. How am I supposed to know that? I rang up and asked. Well, I rang up to ask, but I couldn't because nobody picked up. And then, you know what? You just expect me to show up. You expect me to travel from Barnsley to Sheffield. Yeah. Spend £8.50 on travel. Spend an hour time getting there but you know, for the eventuality that maybe you're just going to turn around and go, oh yeah,
right now fired. To a lot of people, you're sounding like a whiny little bitch, and this is just how employment works. But which a lot of that, it's shitty, and it is actually just how lots of jobs work. To be fair, but thing is, you explained something else to me, like after I asked you, like why having a regular time to go in if they don't contact you doesn't make sense. I can't remember what you said, but that cleared it up for me. Do you remember what that was? Because weren't it like that there were some reasons why you're not even supposed to go in at all for some days? Like they don't need certain people on certain days if certain things happen or something like that?
I think it was the... part of it is that we don't actually start work until... what was it? At 3:30. So a lot of the time, you're just like waiting about at the offices for no reason. So they can ask for you to be there for 1, and then you're waiting there for an hour, not doing anything. So that's one thing. And another thing is also that, you know, people get fired a lot. Like, there's a big turnaround in employment. So, you know, one day they could just say, "Oh, we don't want to hear anymore." So
that was one of it.
if I'm sat there, if I'm sat at your house and it's 2 o'clock and I'm hearing no responses from this guy or the officers and nobody's told me when to come in, that says to me I've lost my job.
Yeah. If no one said anything to you,
so-
and like every day, like you said, you've been working there a month, and every single day they text you in the morning, which is a crap system to start with, by the way. But whatever.
Yeah.
And then also, if you have been fired and you go all the way there, that's a lot of time and effort.
That's a lot of time
money
and money
and all sorts.
Yeah.
It's
so. And they could just turn around and go, "Oh well, I didn't tell you to come in because you've lost your job." So what? What the hell am I meant to do then?
Yeah, there was quite a lot of reasons. I think there was some other stuff that you said as well, actually, that mean that you might not have to go in at all for a day.
I can't remember.
I can't remember what it was either, but there were a few other things. But there's also stuff, especially on those days where it were really, really hot.
It speaks fucking volumes when I can't even be asked to listen to myself.
But on those days when it's really hot, I can totally see how legally they miit be like, "Oh, you can't work today because it's too hot."
Well, I don't know how true this is because my mum said it, and it might just be mummy looking after a little baby boy. But from what she said, apparently she saw something saying that if you're out in the heat, obviously, like if you're doing a job where you're like inside, it
in an
air
conditioned office,
then it doesn't matter. But apparently, if you're working outside and it reaches anything over 30 degrees, which it was, then you're not allowed to. You're just not allowed to work outside because it's a health risk.
Yeah,
so,
and I think that's fair, especially with imagine. Obviously, it's a little bit less for what you were doing, but when we were posting leaflets like we did like before. There's no way you could expect someone to do that job in 30-degree heat.
No, there's no way. But the thing is, you say that, but when I was going up Sheffield Hills, it's like I just just fuck me, it was just awful.
Anyway, let's fast forward to like you actually quitting and things, because
actually quitting wasn't that big of an offence. I just sort of went, I'm quitting, and it's like, okay.
Oh. Right, okay.
So that's not really. It wasn't like it was like you can't live without us, and it's like I'm my own man, and then I left the office and like I don't want to close my eyes. I was like playing. It wasn't like that. But
I wanted you to be like slam your fist down on J. Jonah Jameson's desk and go, "I quit." And he's like, "Give me more pictures of Spider-Man." And then
quit. I own you, Mr. Parker. Mr. Parker. I don't think I ever called him Mr. But
he just called him Parker, didn't he?
Yeah, I own you, Parker.
Not quite like that.
Yeah, no, but it was that was just pretty much it. It were I just left because I thought the treat match. Oh, that was also it. He wanted me to go in for 10:30 in the morning. Which again,
10 in the morning.
Yeah,
when you're only contracted for 3:30. Well,
right, okay, that's what I was getting to. But anyway, so yeah, basically that. To be honest, I mean, you just kind of stole the punchline from me. To be honest, Jay.
It's incredible. If you have to, if you're working from like, because what they mean by working is you have to be walking round from 3:30 till 9.
Knocking on doors,
Which, so to be fair, you probably want to be there at the office at about 2 o'clock because you have to.
Yeah, but they'll make you come in for like, I don't know, fucking 1.
Yeah,
they'll make you come in for like 1.
You wouldn't need to be there earlier than 2, but the reason why you have to be there that early is you have to get there, get everyone organised, sign in. All of that sort of bollocks takes about half an hour. Probably less than that, really, to be honest. And then you might be driving somewhere that's almost an hour away at most. They won't go further than that because there's no need. But normally it's somewhere like it wouldn't be. It could be like just 10 minutes away, or it could be like 50 minutes away. But the total thing is not going to take longer than an hour and a half. But that's why you would have to, because you have to start posting at 3:30 essentially. So.
Yeah,
not posting, whatever. But yeah, so getting there at like 10:30 in the morning.
Yeah, he wanted me there at 10:30 in the morning, and then because essentially what it was like a meeting, and
Right.
he was basically
But does a
like,
meeting not count as work?
no, I don't get paid for that.
Well, you should do. That's the thing.
I know I should, but I wasn't. So, so I'm not getting paid for that. So he wanted me at 10:30 in the morning for a meeting that would have taken like 10 minutes at most, and then I would have had to sat around for 5 hours until I actually started working. And so I would have had to sit around for 5 hours doing nothing, and it was basically on that day when I just rang up and I went, no, I'm not doing it, because
So you just called him and were like, "No, I'm just not going to bother coming in again."
yeah, no, that was basically it. I called up and I went, no, I'm not doing it, because it's just.
Did you get paid weekly?
I got paid weekly, yeah.
Yeah. So what day during the week did you quit on?
Wednesday, I think.
So how did your paycheck work for that week? Did you just get 2 days pay?
I worked those 2 days, so they gave me those 2 days paid, and that's completely fair. Like, I worked those 2 days, that's when I get paid. That's fine.
So really, you should have plenty of money at the minute then.
Or
have you just spunked it all on random crap?
Well, I mean, I've not spent it on random crap. Like, I've spent a lot of it on, because I've been giving my mum 30 quid a week to help her with the kids, because obviously she needs help. So.
And you'd have been getting what, about 50, 60?
What, a day?
No, yeah.
No, well, I was getting like 40 a day.
40 a day. Ugh.
Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah, I know.
So it's only like nearly a day's work. Well, I suppose it's about a day's work that you would be given to it because of trains and things like that. You'd only end up with about 30 a day. So 30 a day, but that's still like 120 quid a week left for you.
Well, God, let me just think. It was, it was like 120 quid a week, yeah. But
so what's that all gone on then? Drugs and hookers, or?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well,
yeah, so it just wasn't worth it. It was a bad time, man.
Okay, well, speaking of bad times, I just burped a little bit. I want to do so let you know about some shit. There's some links in wherever.
Tell me about some of the stuff.
No, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the people listening now.
Oh, okay, right.
If you're watching this on YouTube, check the links in the description. There's plenty of stuff there. This stream's live on twitch.tv/gamesbadly. Probably the best place to watch it live, because you can actually say things and we'll read them out and stuff. Maybe. Who knows?
Whoa, do we read them out and stuff? Maybe.
Yeah, we read them out and stuff, maybe. That's the slogan for this podcast live. We read them out and stuff, maybe. There's like donations and merch and all sorts. If you check the link, I think if you can watch this on Spotify and Apple Music and all those places. And I think you can look at the description of the podcast there and see a bunch of links. More Jacob Fox on YouTube. I think this is the best place to watch it after the fact. Also, check out Behind the Screen Band on Facebook and Instagram, because that's my band, and Judd's been in a video that we've been recording and editing. I learnt Adobe After Effects for that video. What do you think of that, Judd?
I thought you already knew how to use Adobe.
No, I've been using Sony Vegas for years, and I've done a lot of effects on that. In this music video, there's like a uranium rod, kind of like the one in the start of Simpsons, you know, the intro of Simpsons. Yeah, and I edited that in Sony Vegas to look exactly like a uranium rod, frame by frame, because it made more sense to do it. But there's kind of some moments where Judd's eyes have to glow green as well, and for that I used Adobe After Effects because it can track a lot better, rather than having to do it frame by frame. Sony Vegas 16 has some automated tracking, but
is it a bit shit?
Yeah, it's not. It's not amazing. So I've been on holiday, Judd.
Oh yeah, you went on. Did you tell me that you went?
No, I don't think so.
Tell me or not?
Do you want to know where I've been? See if you can guess.
Not particularly, no. But since we're stuck in a podcast together, yeah, go on.
Just have like one guess, and if you guess correctly, I'll I don't know. I'll do something.
I tell you what, oh boy, howdy, I'll do something.
If you guess correctly, next time I see you, you can eat a penny for me.
I get to eat a penny.
Yeah,
for you.
yeah, you get to eat a penny for me.
Is it that place where you have that little, you have your mum like has a place there? I always forget the fucking name of it.
What, you mean Scarborough?
Scarborough, yeah.
No, we used to have a holiday flat in Scarborough, but we actually sold that, yeah. So we don't have that anymore.
Have you told me at any point that you sold that? Or
Probably, yeah.
Like,
you just don't care. You just don't care. It's just
I'm
fair
not
enough.
even listening right now.
Yeah. No, we don't have the holiday flat in Scarborough anymore, which I'm kind of pleased about because I got bored of Scarborough. It's like, it's not a place to go on holiday regularly, I don't think. It's once you've done a lot of things there, it just feels like having a holiday in a different house, kind of, if that makes sense. It's like if you took 2 weeks off from work and just had them at home, rather than, going to work or going on holiday. It almost just felt like that, but the home wasn't as good as this home. If that makes sense.
Why wouldn't you? I know what you mean. Like, why wouldn't you just rather be at home?
Yeah, which I started doing. Like, when my family was going to Scarborough on holidays, I would just say, okay, have fun, I'm staying here. So...
Yeah, no, which is... Yeah, I totally get why, to be honest, mate. Like, I came with you a few times, and because it was, like, special for me, because, like...
You're not going regularly.
I'm not going regularly, so it's just like... oh, okay, I'm going to Scarborough. Yeah, this is going to be fun. It was just like... Yeah, I mean, it's fine. It is fine there, but like when you're doing it all the time,
it's a really good holiday place. It really is, and I enjoyed it more when I was bringing new people and showing them everything that I'd already figured out and sort of experiencing it again for the first time through other people. So so that was Scarborough, but that's not where I went. So. You don't get to eat a penny. I'm not going to let you. As much as you want to eat this penny that I've got on my desk right here, you don't get to anymore.
I would very much actually like to eat this penny now.
We went to Centre Parks.
I actually love Centre Parks.
So it's a very, very British thing, isn't it? It's a very British type holiday.
Americans are not going to know.
So
I don't think anyway.
For anyone else who's not like in England or anything, Centre Parks is like it's kind of like a chain of resorts, but they're not like resorts how you would picture them in like Ibiza or something. They're not like a hotel resort and that has like a beach or something. They're all located in forests.
Like forests, yeah.
And they're they're kind of nature based, and they're meant to kind of give you a feel of like living in a fancy cabin.
No, I'm kidding. I actually genuinely really like it at Centre Parks.
It's like living in a fancy cabin in the woods, kind of. And you can choose how fancy you want to go. Like, as in, there's the basic ones, which are still kind of, they're fancy. They're not like a log cabin.
Yeah, they are nice.
It's they're like lodges. They're kitted out like really well, and all the way up to the main sort of big boy, like rich and famous people can go in, and ones are the tree houses, and these are like fuck off massive houses on stilts, and they've got all sorts of shit packed into them. They're brilliant, and there's loads of like really sort of outdoorsy activities you can do. So like there's like zip lines, and you can take a boat on the lake, and there's like a lot of biking. There's some swimming baths. There's all sorts. You can do archery is one of the things we did. We did some like rock climbing on walls. You can go on quads. We went on quads when we went with we went together a while ago. Anyway.
Ages ago, we did quad bike stuff. Yeah.
So it's quite a fun place, I quite like Centre Parks. It's pretty cool.
I really like Centre Parks. I love the idea for. I just really like it. I've spent a lot of my childhood like. Going there.
Which is kind of weird because you're not a particularly outdoorsy person. You don't mind, like, you don't care about getting muddy or anything particularly, but you don't, like, you're not necessarily actively into outdoorsy type activities. We play a lot of video games and sit inside and that sort of thing. And, like, the tabletop stuff is all, like, inside and all sorts. So...
well, mainly the reason I enjoyed it was because it was like like there was like swimming baths and stuff. There's like
Yeah.
the quad bike stuff, which I know is outdoorsy, but there's all that. There's God, what was the other thing I really like doing there? All the arcade stuff. I used to spend
The
ages in the
arcade.
arcade. Oh, yeah, because
There's not an arcade.
there was. Well, I mean, like the one. Do you remember that one where it's like sort of a bowling alley? It's like a really small arcade
Maybe.
off to the side,
Oh,
and it's
yeah,
not an
yeah.
attraction at all.
Yeah.
But I used to love going in there.
We used to love going in the like tiny, like not really an arcade but called an arcade thing at the cinema near, like in Wakefield, like kind of near us.
Yeah.
That's
It's
right
like-
near Sanctuary Yoga Studio. If you ever want to go do yoga, go to Sanctuary Yoga Studio in Wakefield.
Are we allowed to do that? They've not given us permission to promote the. I don't know why they'd care.
No, we're allowed to do. We're allowed to say whatever we want about stuff. Fuck Sanctuary Yoga Studio. No. No, it is really good. But yeah, that's the. I think they probably did have that, but we didn't. I've never actually been in the bowling alley. They've actually got 2 bowling alleys at Centre Parks.
Yeah, there is 2. Yeah, and both of them have like little arcade things like off to the side. You know? But,
Yeah, oh no, I know exactly what you mean. But right, so I went to. There's quite a few up and down the country. I don't know how many there is, but the only one I've been to, and I think it's one of the better ones actually.
Apparently, it's the best one.
Some are better than others. Is the Sherwood Forest one, which I'm guessing is the one you've probably been to all the time as well.
Oh yeah, I always do the Sherwood Forest one. Which isn't Sherwood Forest meant to be like where Robin Hood and his band of merry?
Yeah. Yeah. What's weird about that is Robin Hood and his merry men isn't real, but like all the other stuff to do with that story is pretty much real. Like Sherwood Forest is a place and all and everything.
Yeah. That's all real.
And there was a lot of poor people and tyrannical kings and like lords.
Yeah.
But there wasn't a fictional character who came and saved them. That's that.
Well, it was me. It was me. I came out. I went,
was
hi,
it? Yeah.
save you all, and then
Right,
went, oh,
okay.
God, please don't go away.
Well, so let me walk you through this holiday. It was like just as a pre-thought, it was pretty good. It was pretty fun. There's one like main takeaway I've got from it, but I'll save that to the end. So we got there at Centre Parks. There's 2 days during the weeks where you can arrive and leave. You can you have to base your stay around those. So you can only arrive and leave on a Monday or a Friday. So you could do Monday to Friday, you stay there, or you could do Monday to Monday.
As long as it's raining, you can leave on a Thursday as long as.
No, there's not all this criteria. You can only leave or arrive on a Monday and a Friday. So you could do Monday to Friday, or you could do a full week, or you could do like Friday to Monday, so you just do a weekend there, or you could spend 2 full weeks. So I think you probably get it. So we arrived on a Monday, and we just got into our lodge, and we actually had like a medium fancy lodge. I think there was only like 2 lodges that you could get that would have been better than ours. There was like a bigger one than we had, and then there was the tree houses, which one day I want to fucking stay in one of these tree houses, honestly.
I do as
they
well,
look
honestly.
so awesome. That, like, you know how if you picture the typical like tree house that you see in like Simpsons, you know? It is not that. It is amazing.
You know what it's more like? It's more like the base on Codename Kids Next Door. That's
Oh,
what it's like.
yeah. It's that. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
But so we were like 2 steps below that, and the building itself looked small, but it had 3 bedrooms, like 2 double bedrooms and 1 twin room, so you could have had 6 people in it. And then the only other room was like a pretty decent sized living room, dining room and kitchen type, all combined. It was really nice. It weren't big, it weren't huge, there weren't that much space, but it was like kitted out nice, and it looked really nice. And the bit that I did notice that was lacking behind is the tech. Like the TVs they have are still pretty old. They could do with getting better TVs, but they work, and you can like plug a HDMI into them and that sort of thing, and put your laptop on the screen and all that. So that was pretty cool. But the one we got, the thing that was fancy about it is it had a barbecue and a hot tub and a sauna just for us. Like we had our own one, which was pretty cool. We loved having the.
Have you not had that one before? That's
no.
usually what we get. Like...
that's what you got when you go with your mum. But like when we went with Dad, and his girlfriend like quite a while ago. We'd have been like 12 and 14, something like that. maybe a little bit younger.
So, yeah.
We just got the basic one, which was it had 2 rooms and a barbecue on the garden, and that was it. Well, there was 2 bedrooms, a small living room, kitchen thing, so we had the basic one there. But this one that we got was a step up. It's the biggest one. It's the best one I've been in. I've not had a bigger one than that.
It is a great place to stay. That.
But we also had it was a new one, like it was on like a new estate, if that makes sense, because they're all villas, they're all lodges. There's no like, it's not like a hotel.
Yeah. There's like I want to say like blocks of like lodges, isn't there? So like city streets of these lodges, like all.
It's not like city streets though, because there's loads of trees everywhere.
Yeah,
so
like you feel like, like you're in your own little world, don't you? Like,
because the thing is, although like, if you took all the trees away, all the lodges would probably be pretty damn close together. But because there's so many trees, like you feel like you're a bit more secluded. But because the area that we were staying in was so new, all the trees hadn't grown; they'd just been planted, so it was more open and it looked more like a street, which I really liked. I liked how open it was; it felt cool. So
I don't know.
We arrived there.
I don't know about that. I like to feel what.
We arrived there on the Monday. It was pretty good. And then we went to the swimming baths, and I think Centre Parks at Sherwood Forest in particular. I've not seen the other ones, but I think it's pretty famous for its like swimming, because it's a pretty decent one. I mean, it's not like a water park, and it's not better than like. It's probably not the best one in the country by any means. It's probably not the best or biggest swimming baths in the country. There's loads that are better than it, but it's known as being pretty cool, and plenty of like kids have made memories there. It's got like a wave pool, your standard wave pool. It's got a couple of like your standard like chute slides, and then it's got one big slide. They were actually expanding it while we were there. It's still the same as it's been since like early 2000s currently, but they're making it bigger actually. But and then there's this big like 4-seater slide that you could go on with just. I think you could go on up to 4 people, so you could go on it on your own. If you were what I found funny about that is you could only go on it on your own if you were a big fat person, because you had to be heavy enough to weigh it down on your own. So
I know you're talking about the log view. Yeah, I'm thinking of a different one. Yeah.
It's and this ride, you like. You all 4 of you sit on this rubber dinghy and you go down this tube, and it's quite nice and peaceful, but then there's like a drop, like just a little short but steep drop, and it opens up into this massive like big, I don't know how to describe it, this just big cavernous space.
Like a big space for like that you go down and you like.
Yeah, and there's like you can pick like what you want to like flash on this space as you're like swirling around it. You can pick like thunder or like underwater and all these sorts of things. So you go around that and all that's like throwing you about, and that's kind of it. I was kind of underwhelmed by it, but I did find it funny that like you can go in it on your own if you're a massive fat person and you can weigh it down.
Yeah, I guess. Because
the thing with it.
Like, if there's a huge fat dude on it and like other people, it's not going to go anywhere, is it?
Well, it was because there was a weight, like sort of, it had to be between 2 weights. So if you were too light, you couldn't go on it, and if you were too heavy, you couldn't go on it. And obviously, like, it's quite a big range, because like it would normally 2 to 4 people would go on it. So 2 people would be heavy enough, like 2 normal people, and 4 like fairly big people weren't too heavy for it. So. So that was fun. I just found that quite funny. So we went on that. But the main attraction of Centre Park swimming baths is the rapids. Everyone goes fucking mental for these rapids. Honestly, it turns people into like rabid dogs. I'm telling you,
animals, don't they? They start
seriously do, and especially the kids. Like don't get me. I hate kids already, but this made me. Pissed me off on these rapids. It is the best thing. It is the most fun, because it's almost like going down a water slide, but like there's no regulations. Just a bunch of people are all just going down water slides at once. So it is fun.
On those, so, like I said, sometimes like don't go like barreling down it because it is too fast. Like
people get injured on it. In fact, I went down one of like there's like kind of slides on the rapids, And I went down one of them and slid right on top of my stepdad's head. Like I landed right on his head. Yeah, I know, but I landed with my nuts right on top of his head.
So you just teabagged him.
I just power slide teabagged him.
To be honest, that's quite impressive. Like,
The thing is, when we got up, he went to me, "Oh, did you just land?" That's my impression of him, by the way. He went, "Oh, did you just land on my head?" And I went, "Yeah, I just smacked my nuts right on your skull." He went, "Oh, hard balls." So yeah, that was fun. We had fun in there, but there was a lot of kids and people. So I also barbecued burgers that night. We got a disposable barbecue and let me tell you, I barbecue a mean fucking burger. I don't know like why it tastes so good when I barbecue them, but it's the best burgers I've ever had. I'm not even joking. I get a brioche bun and just toast that a bit on the barbecue, and then I get a burger patties that are between like just around 10% fat, and then you get American cheese slices and some sort of smoked cheese as well. And when the burgers are on the barbecue and they're like sort of getting ready to be done, you're not going to flip them anymore. You put a little bit of the smoked cheese on them, and then you put an American slice on top of that. And it sort of melts onto it a bit, and that's it. No ketchup, no nothing, no salad, just that brioche bun, burger, and those cheeses.
Whilst you're cooking it.
What?
Whilst you're cooking it.
All I can hear you saying is whilst you're cooking it.
Do not salt the meat
while
you're cooking it.
You salting meat is crazy. Do you realise how salty meat is anyway?
Put a little bit on, like
no. You salt fucking bacon, Judd. Bacon's known as being really salty, and you put more salt on it. You do not need more salt on that. You're the one who's weird. Don't come at me with, don't you even salt your meat when you're cooking it, because you're the weird one for doing that.
You're picking up these burgers. To be honest, it just sounds like you slapped some meat on and toasted some buns.
Look,
and like
it's simple. It's simple, but it's great. Trust me. If you ate one of these burgers, you'd be like, shit, you know what? He's good. He's right.
This is like every other burger I've eaten.
No, it's not. It's not, and I don't know why. It should be. I hear what you're saying.
What, make me now, and just mail me it, and I'll get it in a bit.
Shut up, you dumbass.
Only one of these
fucking burgers. They were great anyway. So we like, oh my nose is itching. We essentially like we had these burgers, and I even did some sausages for my sister because she doesn't like burgers, or she says she doesn't, and she's just being fucking a 12-year-old. And we had like beer and these burgers, and like we sat in the hot tub a bit, and that was fun that night. And then the next day, what did we do then? I just can't remember that day at all. I don't know what happened. My sister did. That was it. My sister did like this. It was called Aerial Adventure, and you essentially go up in the trees and like you're hooked onto a harness and you walk along like different types of platforms and that. And there's places that specialise in it in England, and they're called Go Ape. It's the same thing as that if you've heard of that. And then
we went.
But there was this.
Ages ago,
there was this massive, and it was huge, a really big zip line across this big lake in the middle of Centre Parks. You know how big the lake is in Centre Parks, don't you?
Yeah.
And this zip line goes right across the whole thing. My sister's 12, and and it ended with this big zip line, which was really cool. We did that. My mum and my girlfriend went to the spa there. There's a spa. Did some more swimming. Can't remember. A goose pecked my leg.
Goose pecked your leg?
Yeah, we were eating sandwiches and these geese were like bothering us, and it tried to like peck my leg. It pecked me where my shorts were, and it didn't hurt at all. It like there was no pain, but it like surprised me, and I went, "Hey, go away, goose!" And I scared the goose off. We also did archery. Turns out I'm fucking good at archery. I've actually.
Archery, did you just say?
Yeah, I'm really good at it. Apparently, I didn't realize I did win a medal at archery one time. Let me see if I can show this on the screen. Can you see this? Wait, where is it? Oh, it's not reaching. I can't show it. But
because I can't alt tab, but
yeah, I won an archery medal this one time. It was only like for this after school archery thing, so I didn't think it was like that good. But I was really good at it at Centre Parks as well. my sister did some other stuff. She did some football stuff, and you know, I don't know. We kind of hung out a lot. What else did we do? I did rock climbing, like on these climbing walls, and
I remember doing that at Centre Park.
and it was really fun. I do some climbing at the quarry near my house, and that's fun. I like to do it with my sister there, and don't take that line out of context. That'd be really weird.
You like to do it while your sister watches. Yeah, I get it.
So my mum signed us both up for this climbing thing, and it was a lot harder than like the cliffs near my house. But the thing is, you know, the instructors who like sort of put your harness on and watch you and tell you the rules and that, they're all really good because they get all that like crap out of the way really quick, so you've got plenty of time. But they're all
a total disregard for safety. Yeah.
No, but they're all like jocks. You know what I mean? They're all like, they're not nerdy. The archery guy kind of wasn't a jock. He was quite fun. But they're all a lot like our dad, in the sense that they were like quite pushy to try and make you like do stuff, even if you were uncomfortable doing it. And it's supposed to be this like fun activity, which I get. They think they're just being nice and encouraging, but it makes you feel uncomfortable. And it's like, I couldn't get
dude,
up.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's hard to describe. You only know the feeling if you've been pushed by a jock in this way. Like, they do think they're being nice.
Immediately know because, like, you know, as dad, so...
Yeah, he was constantly like that. Like, as in, a good example is, as dad tried to get us to go on bike rides with him, and we hated it. Yeah, we've talked about it on the podcast before, so go back through and listen to those. But
yeah, we've not... that's not because we hate riding bikes. I actually would like to start riding my bike places again. It'd be a whole day thing, wouldn't it? Like,
yeah, and the thing is, they push you to be on their level. They want you to be a same sports person just as much as they've been all their life. Well, we're not. You can't push someone straight into that. They're never going to be able to do it, and that's the thing. So I was doing this climbing, and there was this hard wall that no one had got past. It was in this. They weren't. They didn't look like your traditional rock climbing walls. They were like themed around stuff. So there was a Tetris looking one, and there was a Snakes and Ladders looking one.
This must be new because this is I've not heard about this before. So
yeah, the one we did, I remember the one we did, and it's not that at all. They've moved that completely. Right. And it was really cool. I liked doing these ones, but bear in mind, I've recently adopted crippling anxiety, and I don't know what sets it off currently. And apparently, being high up on a rock climbing wall kind of does. So.
Oh yeah, well, somebody down below yells at you. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
So I'm trying to. No one had got on this house one, right? There was the front door, a window, and a window above that.
That makes a lot more sense than your fucking shitty synesthesia.
Shut up. So no one had got above this door, right? They'd kind of got to the top of it, but they'd not got to like the first window. So he kind of he told a few people what to do, and they couldn't do it. And he told me what to do when I got on it, and I managed to get to this first window. And my hand, it really hurt my hands and stuff to get on there. And I was like, right, I don't want to do any more of this, because I've not done all of these climbing walls, and I want to do more of them. Like, I've proven myself, I've done it, I've been good. But if I get to that second window, and it's just as hard, I can't go in any more of these. I want to climb all of these different walls and see what they're like. Because that's kind of the whole point of it. So they were like pushing me. They were like, "Oh yeah, now do that to the second one." I'm like, "No, I'm getting down. I want to try the other ones." And when I got down, they were like, a couple of them were like, "Oh god, oh you wimp," you know, kind of like joking and like trying to, you know, as an encouraging way. But he's still like, it makes people uncomfortable. And then another one was, they had these timed walls. There were two next to each other, and they were more traditional rock climbing walls. But you could press start, and there was someone next to you, and you could do it at the same time and see who got the quickest time up this wall. So obviously I'm going to be quicker than my sister. She's 12, but so we had a go on it, and it was mainly for her to, you know, have fun. And I got 24 seconds on my first go up this wall. She got like 27 seconds.
Okay.
And I thought I bet I can get under 20. And I said I'll try and get under 20, and you try and get under 25. I don't know if she did, but I managed to get like pretty much around 20. Yeah. And that's when these guys come round and like, "Oh, 20, light work, like sort of encourage it. Like they've done this a lot. They've been doing it years. And he's like, oh, you can get it under 10 seconds. And I'm like thinking, fucking 10 seconds. And the first go, I did it in 24. So they were like really pushing me. I thought, right, okay, I'll give it a good go. And I got to 14 seconds. I managed to get it down to 14 seconds. And I was like, I was knackered. I'd been climbing other walls quite a lot. Like, this was one of the last walls I was on. And, God, they were to the point where you were supposed to pick up these mats to show that you want to go into the next one. They wouldn't let me move on to the next one. Because they were like, oh, you can do it, you know how to move until you do it in 10 seconds. Like, as like an encouragement type thing. And I'm like thinking, just fuck off, though. You know? And I thought, right,
I would have gone. I would have told him to fuck off. Like, I'm out here trying to enjoy my day. Leave me alone.
I know, and it's like the reason why I don't jump to that is because I've often found if you do embrace it, you can have fun with it as well. But you know, you don't want to give in to it and let them push you around as well. You can use it to have fun with, but. So I said, right, I'll have one more go then. I'll have one more go, and then I want to try something else because I've not been on all these walls. So I gave it one more go and managed to get down to 12 seconds on this fucking wall. And my hands are still hurting today. Like the tendons in my fingers feel like fucked, honestly. And also you have to bear in mind what I do for a career. I play guitar for a career. If I rip all my tendons, I can't play right. So also your audio keeps cutting out. I don't know why, but whatever. So yeah, whatever. And so essentially after that, I couldn't do any more climbing after that one. I was done, which kind of sucked.
No, that does suck. Yeah.
I did manage to get up. Like it don't matter. You can't. A lot of it you can't know unless you're there. But anyway, Centre Parks holiday, pretty cool. I had fun. What I did realise, though, there was quite a lot of people there because it's the school holidays. Not like a stupidly overwhelming amount, which you can expect from these sorts of places, because it is very family-friendly. It's mostly families who go. And I tell you what, Judd, the general person, just the average person, is fucking dumb as shit. Honestly,
we've said this. We've said this many a time.
I know, but it really reinforced how thick people are. Honestly, I couldn't. By the end of the holiday, I couldn't wait to just sit in my room alone for a little while, because honestly, I can't even begin to start explaining it because there's so many situations of people just being dumb shits. Oh, a plastic bag just fell down near me. Yeah, there's so many situations of just everyone being so stupid all the time. Like just a little tiny example, like and it is accumulation of a lot of smaller things. An example is just how long people took in the changing rooms at the swimming baths.
Oh yeah, they do. Like, they take ages.
What are they doing in there? What can they actually be doing in there? People were taking like half an hour. You just take your clothes off and put your swimming trunks on. That's it. The other way obviously takes longer because you've got to get dried and that. But come on, Jesus Christ! Oh God, your microphone's still cutting out a bit, by the way. But
try again.
Yeah, that's one of the main takeaways. I had a pretty fun holiday. I also did a lot of you like sort of finesse people and like. Sort of kind of manipulate people in a little bit of way with your perks that you've got.
I want someone who is a little bit talented. There is because I saw this and I remember the conversation we have. There is a part on one of the Always Sunny in Philadelphia episodes where it's the one where they get taken hostage by the McPoyles.
Yeah.
Is it that one? No, it's not that one. It's the one where Dennis is trying to make this dress. This like Mac and
I know which one you mean. That's a really good episode. That actually,
yeah. And basically, I want someone to like do like a tracking of Frank and Mac's face. I want me to be Frank and I want Jake to be Mac, because literally the conversation is Frank basically saying to Mac how he gets people to how he manipulates people to do what he wants.
And that's
then,
you.
and Matt goes, well, that's awesome, dude. How do you do that? And he goes, well, if you finish making my chair for me, I'll show you. And he goes, okay, I'm going to do it. And he manipulates him. So I need that done for me, please.
Thing is, I know that you do that to me sometimes, but I respect the hustle of it. Like, I can sometimes I'm like, I know what you're doing, but okay, because I respect it. 'Cause it's so useful and fun. And honestly, I think you'd be proud of me because I've been finessing my parents essentially a bit like that while we've been away. Because
I am proud of you for gaslighting your parents.
No. It's not gaslighting. Remember. I mean,
it's finessing.
That's a technique too. But I managed to, because like when they're on holiday, they let the guard down a lot more and expect to be spending money and things like that. So they don't really mind that much. So I managed to get, wait for this. This is how much money I managed to come away with from my holiday. Bearing in mind, I went with no money at all. This is how much I managed to come with. 20, 40, 60, 70, 80, 93 pounds.
You got £93 out of the poor bastards. That's incredible. That's very well done.
I essentially got paid £93 to go on holiday.
No, that's I'm not going to say anything ill of that. That's fantastic. Yeah,
I was pretty proud of that. I think that's pretty good.
That is pretty good.
Yeah. So right. Anyway, I think that's enough for one podcast. If you're watching live, it seems like the connection's a little bit dodgy, but stay tuned. I've not actually. No one's even chatted anything, so I don't know if anyone's watching. But yeah, if that's the end of the podcast, if you're watching on YouTube, listening on Spotify, and all that sort of thing, Judd, we actually did it. We did a podcast. We did it, everyone. Oh shit! I played the wrong sound effect. There we go. Winning music. We did it. We made it to the end. We actually recorded a podcast and didn't forget. That's it. We did it, everyone. Thanks for listening. We'll be back soon. Yeah.